What's going on, Jerome's? Happy Sunday. It's time for another Vikings news dump, and it's a very entertaining time of year. So, of course, the news yesterday was dominated by the Justin Fields trade, finally being sent from the Bears to the Steelers for a 6th-round pick that can become a 4th-round pick. Again, Ryan Poles, absolute masterclass. So, not only did he trade effectively a first-round pick, number 32 overall, to the Steelers for Chase Claypool, who he cut and is now learning Canadian. And now basically just giving Justin Fields away when thumping his chest earlier saying that they would get a 2nd-round pick or maybe a 1st-round pick. Who knows? But it's funny. Pat Thorman, authority on fantasy football. Ryan Poles was so concerned about doing right by Justin that he sent him to a backup gig in an Art Smith offense, negotiated draft pick compensation that incentivizes his new team not to play him. GTFO with this nonsense. Poles choked, and yes, he did. And could Fields overtake Russ? Sure, but reportedly Russ is going to be the starter in Pittsburgh. Plus, the whole thing about it doesn't make sense because Arthur Smith's offense is predicated on accurate passing over the middle, and his 2 quarterbacks are Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Neither of them is their strong suit. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Plus, the most amazing thing about it is that Bears fans were so smug about, hey, we're going to get a 1st-round pick, maybe 2nd. We'll see what the market is, and then we'll draft Caleb Williams at 1. But the fact that Poles got less for Justin Fields than Desmond Ridder or Kenny Pickett or Sam Howell, it's amazing, man. It's absolutely amazing. But now, yeah, I mean, we got to deal with Caleb Williams being in division, but who knows? Maybe after Jonathan Greenard sacks him 17 times, same thing with Andrew Van Ginkel, and then Beasley has 2 pick sixes off of him. Maybe he'll cry in the stands. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Or, former teammate Mekhi Blackman, pick 6 right in the grill. It's going to be good. It's going to be good, man. Yeah. Something that's not good. So this ship has obviously sailed, but FanDuel put this out, and it got a pretty negative reaction, mainly because it's so stupid. Again, this is how the national media thinks of you. They think that this could be a fair trade. So Vikings get up to number 1 overall, and then the Vikings give up 11-23 in Justin Jefferson. Essentially, the Vikings will be giving up 5 first-round picks of value at least, because JJ is worth at least 3 first-round picks for number 1, which, the ship has sailed because obviously it's Caleb Williams' season in Chicago, but this is ridiculous. And also, so we're going to get into like Patriots media people, talking about, we'll trade 3 for 11-23 and Justin Jefferson. It's so ludicrous. It's absolutely ridiculous, man. And I can't wait until the Vikings secure the quarterback of the future, JJ inks long term, and then the Vikings are able to shove this in everyone's face for the next 4 to 5 years. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic, man. Also looking at the Vikings draft capital right meow. So first-round picks 11 and 23. They do not have a selection in round 2 because of the Texans trade. They do not have a selection in round 3 because of the Hockenson trade. But they have 2 4th-round picks, 2 5th-round picks, a 6th, and 2 7ths, and a partridge in a pear tree. Now, could this be sweetened up a little bit more because of the Kirk Cousins tampering with the Falcons? Who knows? But things are starting to get thick, man, and don't want to get into it. But the whole thing with Cousins is when he specifically said that he met with the training staff, can't do that. You can't do that until the start of the new league year, because legal tampering is only for the teams, the executives, and certified agents. So if Cousins literally met with the training staff, that's a wrap. That's a wrap, man. We'll take number 8 overall. Let's get 3 first-round picks all up in this thing, man. And also, this is hypothetical trade season, especially since the Vikings are in the catbird seat right now for moving up. And Vikes fan page put this together. So Sports Illustrated, I didn't know SI was still a thing. Thought they didn't they like fire everyone like a couple months ago? And then everyone's like, I will remember you. Yeah. Sports Illustrated recently came up with a hypothetical trade package for the Vikings to acquire the 2nd overall pick from the Commies, 2 first-rounders, 11 and 23, a 4th-rounder, and a future 3rd-rounder. Would you do this if you were in Minnesota? Yes. Oh, my God. Everything that's holy. Jesus Christ, we're doing this in 2 seconds. It's ridiculous. Now, I understand that the trade charts say 11 and 23 could get you up to 2. Ain't going to do it. Ain't gonna do it. And hey, more than happy to give up a fourth rounder. More than happy to give up a couple of fifths, and that actually could make the difference. So I think that if you want to give up to 2, it will take 11, 23, 2025 first round pick, and maybe like a fourth and a fifth rounder from this season. I think that's what it's going to take. So, I mean, if that is seriously the offer that Washington would be willing to do, I would thank Adam Peters and just be like, thank you, come again. No, we would take that in 2 seconds, man. And poll results. So we put it out to you, the Jeromes. 5,100 responded. The question is, where do the Vikings end up? So 2 commies, 14%. We didn't list 1 because even before the Fields trade, I don't think that they would trade in division. 3 Patriots, 52%, 4 Cardinals, 5 Chargers, and then other. So other could be sticking and picking, slight maneuver up, maybe to 8 with Falcons, who knows. But the over half of the Jeromes voted number 3 of the Patriots, and I think that is the most likely. We've talked about how the Cardinals may not want to move, and if the Vikings move to 5, they can't do that ahead of time because the goal is to come away with one of the big 4 quarterbacks, and if you go into 5, you're running the risk of getting leapfrogged. And we said maybe Arizona doesn't want to move up because of wide receiver 1 or offensive tackle 1, but Giants could get desperate and make a move. So Kwesi, if he's going to move, it's either going to be the 2 or the 3. And I think that 3 could make the most sense because I think Washington is going to be in on a rookie quarterback. I could see New England passing on QB at 3, getting as much draft capital as possible, maybe taking a quarterback at 23 with the Vikings first round pick or in the second round. So I think 3 is the spot for the Vikes, but we'll see. Speaking of a spot with the Vikes, so Jonathan Greenard was speaking with Gabe Henderson, Vikings, and I'm pretty hyped for Greenard. So Greenard sort of reminds me of Daniel Rojas from Ted Lasso. He was born naturally caffeinated. Like, he's funny, he's hyped. You could see that he's very good at talking ish on the field, and he's really excited, man. And he said off first off that he's not here to fill Danielle Hunter's shoes, and that's great. That's great. And I think that Greenard is growing and showing into his role. I think that last year, the big 1-year production, 12 sacks, all the pressures, I think that he's going to continue to grow with that. And Flores is going to put him in great spots. He's got great bend off the edge. He is lightning quick at getting pressure. So kind of sucks losing Danielle, but de facto 1-for-1 swap Danielle for Greenard. And Greenard is younger, he is cheaper, and he's got fresher legs. And also I think that he's probably a better fit for what Flores wants to do defensively, schematically. So I'm fired up, man. Like, I think Greenard, Van Ginkel, and company are going to be fantastic on the edge. Also, Brandon Powell re-signed running back on a 1-year deal. So Powell was brought over last season after spending some time with the Rams with Kevin O'Connell, Wes Phillips. And Powell, he caught his touchdown for the season, the game winner against the Falcons, which was fantastic because he was in front of a lot of friends and family, went to the University of Florida, as well as he was with the Falcons, so revenge game narratives, and decided to run it back. And he says, I didn't want to go anywhere. I love this place. It's kind of nice to have guys who actually want to be here. It's crazy. What a crazy notion, man. And Powell, great in the locker room. Team loves him. Coaches obviously love him too. Plus, I think that he can provide a little bit of spark. Maybe he's not your full-time wide receiver 3, but as a guy that can contribute, a guy can move the chains in some high-end spots, yes. I do think Brandon Powell could certainly do that. Speaking of guys who didn't want to be here, so Cousins. So randomly what I'll do is, like, if we order something from Fanatics, now, don't want to go down like the Fanatics baseball jersey rabbit hole or the Fanatics jersey rabbit hole, but if you buy something specifically Nike or specifically Mitchell & Ness, it's fine. But if you get into like the Fanatics made stuff, I don't know, man. But occasionally we'll just check out the site and like we'll build up fan cash and we'll buy the funniest, cheapest thing on there just for shits and giggles. Like I have a Browns tank top. It's pretty good, man. I have Patrick Mahomes socks that I gave the wife that she likes. But she likes that. But one of the cheaper items on the site right now is the Kirk Cousins Vikings jersey. It's great. Most popular in men t-shirts, which is kind of hilarious. So are people just stocking up on these because these are cheap? Also, first off, regular price for a jersey is $40. I don't know, man. In this economy, it's kind of crazy. But I don't know. It's been real. It's been fun. Hasn't been real fun. There you go. Also, I wonder who's going to be number 8 now. I mean, you think that a rookie could come in and take it, but I guess we'll see. But anyway, everything's on clearance. Although, I don't think that Kirk Cousins merits a jersey burning. I know I've seen a couple of them, but that's ridiculous. I mean, Cousins is who he is. He's always about the money, and he took the money. It's not really a shocker. It's not really a betrayal. Like, this is not a Kevin Durant leaving OKC situation. And joining the Warriors. My next chapter, please. But that's it. That is Sunday Vikings news dump. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull production value.